Hey my loves, so for today we're going to be using the Sweet Talk palette by Colourpop, and I love how this turned out, so if you want to see how I did it, then please keep watching. So taking this brush by Glitter Realm Co., I'm going to be picking up the shade ICMY, and I'm going to pack that in the outer corner as well as the crease, and I'm using dabbing motions here because I've already applied some concealer as my base, so I'm going to get this color to really stick on there. So you might want to take a little bit at a time and then just slowly build up, which is what I love to do. So with a very light hand, I'm just using dabbing motions, and I'm going to slowly build up this color and just keep it around the crease area. And of course, you can build it up to whatever intensity that you like. I might go back and forth later on, but we'll see. Next, I will be picking up this shade called Caddy from the Ooh La La palette, and I'm going to apply that on the same area, the outer corner, and then drag it in the crease because I really want to give it a little bit more depth. So as mentioned, I'm going to be using a very light hand here too, and I'm just going to really emphasize that into the crease and really darken things up. And if in case you're wondering, this is how I always hold my brushes when I'm working with them. So I'm just going to fast forward this part, but I'm going to leave it in so that you guys can see how much I applied. Next, with this brush by Lamora Beauty, I'm going to be picking up a little bit of that shade called Meadow, and I'm going to apply that above this shade. I'm just going to really buff out this harsh edge and make it really nice and soft. Now you can blend it out as much as you want. I really like to have very soft edges, so this is going to take a little while. Blending is a process, and it mustn't be rushed, as I always say. So as always, with a very light hand, I'm just going to go over this several times, picking up just a smidge of that shade and just applying it. So let me just fast forward this part, but I'm going to leave it in like always so that you guys can see the actual process. Next, with the same brush, I'm going to be picking up a little bit of the shade called Work It, and I'm going to apply that just a little bit above the shade that we just applied so that we can really get that nice gradient look to it. So with a very light hand, I'm just going to do the same thing, apply a little bit at a time, and then continue to buff it outwards. And I'm just going to speed up this clip again. Next, with the first brush that we used in that shade ICYMI, I'm going to be applying a little bit more of it just so that I can emphasize that color a bit more as it got washed out when we blended. So I'm just fast forwarding this as always, and it's up to you guys if you want to go back and forth, but this is how I really get my blends. I mean, if you have any other techniques, I'd love to learn some of y'all's. Next, I'm going to be taking just a little bit more of Work It, and I believe we're almost done. I'm just going to buff this out one last time to make sure everything is as perfect as I can get it. So just taking a very light hand, let's go over this one last time, and let's just speed it up a little bit. So here's a little bit of a close-up action of what the blend looks like. Next, with a small flat brush, this one's by e.l.f., I'm going to be cutting my crease. Now, if this is your first time cutting the crease, I would suggest using a bigger tipped brush, a wider brush, because it's going to give you better coverage that way. So I'm taking the Moira Cosmetics Mega Waterproof Concealer as always, and I'm just going to start by applying most of it on the lid area, and then I'm just going to drag outwards where the tape is. Now you can shape it how you want it to be, but this is what I'm going to do for today. Now once I'm satisfied with the shape, I'm not going to set it with anything. I'm just going to directly go in with the next shades. Now on a small flat brush, I'm going to be picking up a little bit of the shade called Dream Maker, and I'm going to just with patting motions apply that on the first third of this cut crease. So since the concealer is wet, I'm going to start off with dabbing motions just to get it to really stick on there, because if I apply it and try to drag it, it's not going to work very well. You're basically setting the concealer with eyeshadow. Next, in the middle area, I'm going to be applying the shade Meadow, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm not going to take it all the way up. I'm going to leave a little space. And for the last part, I'm going to be applying the shade ICYMI. Next, in the space, I'm going to be applying some NYX glitter glue just to help it stick a little bit more. And then I'm going to take that glitter Prima Drama and I'm going to apply it right in there. And on this liner brush, I'm going to be picking up a little bit at a time and then just applying it where I put the glue. So I'm going to take it about this much, but obviously you can apply as much glitter as you want. And now I'm going to be applying some more concealer on the bottom like I would eyeliner. I almost forgot about this part, so you can actually do this before you apply the glitter. It's up to you. And next I'm just going to repeat the same process. I'm going to apply some glitter glue and then I'm going to go in with that same glitter. And for the lower lash line, I believe I used the shade ICYMI again. And then I blended it out with a little bit of the lighter peach shade in the palette. And for mascara, as always, I'm going to be using the Colourpop BFF Black Mascara. Next, I'll be applying some false eyelashes. I forgot which ones these are called, so I'll put them down in the description box. So this completes the eye look. I hope you love this look as much as I do. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, have a blessed week and we'll see you next time.